Welcome back to the first edition of Limitless Interviews. I've got the big man himself in the booth with me today. BigSyn joining me. Sin, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We're really excited to have you back this season, man. We're looking forward to, a really great season, and no one better to bring that action than you, man.
I really appreciate that. Happy to be back myself. It's going to be a great RLCS season, especially in SSA. But we'll talk about all of that in a second. I want to get the full experience from you as we're talking here today. So I
Yeah.
want to take things all the way back to kind of the start. How did you specifically get into esports?
Man, I have been a video gamer for as long as I can remember. I mean, I'm almost 40, so that with a little bit of age behind it. But I played Counter Strike at a pretty high level. I would say like mainly a tier 2 level, but I made a few tier 1 events and stuff like that
All
back in the
right.
day in CS 1.6. So I kind of always knew that I wanted to do this at some point in my life. I just kind of had to get right financially and figure out what this looks like, from obviously very different from way back when I used to play, but yeah, I just always kind of knew that I was going to do this one day. And I met Barbie, one of the other founders of Limitless, and he kind of pushed me to do it. And here we are, man.
I love that. I didn't even know you were a CS pro. That's
Yeah.
that's really cool. I'll have to look you up on the CS Wikipedia after this. But talking about starting Limitless, like how I know you talked about how you met Barbie, but how did
Yep.
Limitless as a concept and then an actual organization come to be?
Yeah, so it's like I'm one of those type of people that I have to be leading whatever I'm doing or work my way up into it like a management position.
Hmm.
I don't really like to work for other people, man. And I joined a smaller org called Pride as a content creator. I'm a Twitch partner and that kind of stuff. And it was cool and all that. And then I got a chance with Elevate as a content creator for them as well. And took a lot of inspiration from Justin and what he's doing over there with that team. And just it's like, hey man, I really think I can do this myself and and really make a name under my own type of organization. And we just threw some darts at the wall, and here we are, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just kind of a snowball effect. Like things started going the right way, and we met Graham and brought Graham on as an investor, and it's been something special, man, over the last 3 years. So
So which was first, Counter Strike or Rocket League that Limitless
yeah,
got into?
yeah. Counter Strike was our first esport. We never really intended to spend a ton of money on Counter Strike. Counter
Hmm.
Strike's a super expensive esport. It's kind of crazy. But that's actually kind of what helped us find our investor, Graham. He's a big Counter Strike player, and he's a big bleeding heart for the game and the esport as a whole. So it was kind of easy to make a connection with him because we were a new org, and we had a really good, young, hungry team. And he was able to come in and see our vision. But he had the same idea that I did, and it's like I don't want to spend a ton of my money on Counter Strike.
Sure.
I want to look other ways. So we are bleeding hearts for North American Counter Strike, but
Aren't we all?
we also understand that we're business people, and it doesn't necessarily make sense for us. So yeah, so we kind of looked at Rocket League. Rocket League is the other game that I play. I've only got, I don't know, maybe 4,000 hours in the game, but you know not quite near as good as these guys. But that is my second choice, and having smaller rosters and things like that makes it a little bit more financially stable. And it's really exciting. We did start in North America. We had a
Hmm.
team in North America for one season, and that unfortunately didn't go our way. I don't think we made a single day 3, to be honest with you. Kind of rough getting
Yeah.
into it, and then we met these guys, man, and these guys have been our pride and joy since, man. This is going on year 3 now, so we're really excited to be back.
I mean, that's a bit of a jump going from the NA bubble scene. I mean, that's where we
Yeah,
met. So I'm thankful that you guys
yeah.
started in the NA bubble scene. But going from NA to SSA, what inspired that jump?
We just wanted to compete, man. We wanted to find a team that could make those international lands. When we first joined, we could only make the world championship, but
Hmm.
Barbie and I both we went to the world championship that was in Dallas in 21 or 22, whatever year it
Yep.
was, and we were like, man, we have to be here next year. We got to figure it out. And from that weekend, Barbie and I sat down and we're like, whatever it takes, let's go find a roster that can compete and that will be here next year. And then we ended up making Dusseldorf, and the rest is kind of writing itself. So um, looking forward to it though, man. We
Hmm.
got big plans for this season. The guys are going to get their first land win like I can feel it, man. The region needs it. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
we're here to write that story, and we're hoping we can make it happen this year. So
It feels extremely close. I mean, the experience in SSA RLCS is an extremely unique one, and you guys have been there for 2 full seasons. And what's the experience been like? Because there are a lot of hurdles that SSA players have to jump over in order to compete at the top level. And I'm curious. I mean, something specific that you might have learned after getting into the region that you might not have known beforehand, or just the experience in general.
I'm telling you, man, like the amount of hurdles that these guys got to jump through, it's crazy. Like other regions don't necessarily have the same problems, like load shedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Load shedding is a big one. Like, we took one grand final back then from a forfeit because the
Yep.
other team couldn't play. Like that's a problem, right? Like that's one more series that we missed out on. Obviously we get a free win and that's cool and all, but like that's the other problem is like the region is small, the player base is small, and like we're at the top, right? So
Mm-hmm.
these guys don't get that experience on playing better teams than them very often, and it's really hard to improve. When you're, I don't want to say playing down because there's other great players, but like you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. Like when you're already at the top, like it's hard to get that experience and get better when you're playing a little bit slower. At a lot of the times. So um, a lot of hurdles, man. And I feel the guys' pain with the EU guys coming
Yeah.
over. Like I understand why they don't want to scrim them all the time, and a lot of those players don't scrim our guys at all. You know what I mean? And yeah, a lot of struggles, man. A lot of struggles for sure.
And that is kind of the case in RL esports across the board at the moment. A lot of
Yeah.
struggles. And as an org owner, I mean, there have been a lot of org owners kind of coming to the forefront of the conversation about the issues in Rocket League esports right now. And you can go as deep into this or as shallow into this as you like. But I'm curious about your take as an org owner of an org that was at the World Championship last season and then the season prior. What is your take on the state of RL esports?
It's in a tough spot, man. It's in a tough spot, and I think you can see that like over in EU right now, right? There's only
Mm-hmm.
5 orgs in the top 16, right? Like that's not okay. Like especially like in a region like EU,
Yep.
where like they're the face of the entire game right now, right? Like the EU rosters are like the best out there, and to see only 5 orgs make that top 16, like that should speak volumes of where the esport is. Um, I do think they made some good changes. Like I don't know like how much is public and how much is not. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously the marketing fund, like that's something that's really cool. I don't know like how much I can share about that, but like
Sure.
that's something that's neat, man. That's something that's never been done before, and that's something that does put a little bit of money in orgs' pockets and that kind of thing. So I think they're making some good changes. But the big thing that we all want and we all need from them is better communication, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that alone would make the state of Rocket League incredibly better. So I don't know. I stated that to them in my meeting with them specifically, like, hey, we need better communication. They said they're gonna do that this season.
Okay.
We'll find out, man. We'll find out. Like I got good vibes from them, so hopefully it actually works out. But
All right.
we'll see.
Step in the right direction at the very
Yeah.
least. We'll take what we can get at this point. But talking about a bit of a brighter side of the esports, I want to talk about the travel that you've been able to embark upon thanks to esports. Like as an org owner, I don't know how much travel you get to actually go on because of your team's results, but share some memories from your travels for esports.
Yeah, I don't go to a lot of events. I try to send people that can make an impact on like what we're doing. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of taking that manager slot and going with these guys on these tournaments, we usually send a videographer so that we can kind of document behind the scenes on like what's happening. We just recently released that teaser clip
Oh
of like
yeah.
the Esports World Cup and the Rocket League World Championship. We delayed that on purpose. You know what I mean? Like we wanted to like create some hype around this season, like what we did last season. So I don't get to go to a lot, but I did go to Worlds last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I can tell you, man, that was something that was surreal. Like, we even got to like walk out on stage for the first time. Like it was before the crowd was in, but when the team was setting up, we got to go out there with them and just seeing the environment. Man, it makes me miss competing so much. Even though it was way different back when I competed, but like it was cool, man. It was a really good experience. It made me hungry to like you know find more partnerships for these guys and help these guys get to that next level. It was really needed. It was really needed, man. And yeah, it was just super cool. It was unreal.
That's awesome. I mean, that series that they played on the main stage was unreal as well. The zero
It
second
was.
goal, the clutch moments to tie up games. I mean, how was that? Seeing your guys compete in front of thousands of people in an arena for the first time, really.
It was a surreal experience, man. And like I told you, like we were sitting there in Dallas, like 3 seasons or 2 seasons before, and
Hmm.
we're like, we got to be here. And then to be able to do that and play a match on stage, like it was just a surreal feeling, man. It was unreal. And then getting that game win over KCP. I mean, I know it was only a game win, but
Hmm.
like the crowd was electric. Like people were excited for the region, and like it was just something that was so cool and something that I'll never forget, man. Like truly, we'll never forget that.
That was a phenomenal way to kind of close out last season, I
Yeah.
think, for the SSA region. And I mean, talking about last season as a whole, would you call that a success for Limitless in Rocket League esports specifically? You can go deeper if you like it into the other esports or just Limitless as a whole. But would you call last season a success?
Yeah, I think it was. I think the guys made like strides, like without a doubt. Like we kind of got rolled over a little bit in the second split of the season. We didn't
Hmm.
win a single regional, and the guys were hungry after that, man. Like they took that to heart. They came and they boot camped with us for 2 weeks after the Esports World Cup, and they literally stayed in the same house with us. So we got to like really like meet these
Nice.
guys and like really like spend 2 weeks with them and do some cool things. And I'll tell you, man, they're grinders, dude. They put in the time, and we all saw it at the World Championship. Like they improved so much. And then again, we saw it even again. They weren't under the Limitless banner, but at the FIFA E World Cup,
Hmm.
they put up a fight, man, and they took even against England and all of that. Like it was really cool, man. Like these guys are putting in the time, and like I fully believe that this year we'll get a land win. I know just even the journey to getting to land is going to be tough this season. So the guys are going to have to be on their A game, but we believe in them, and we got a lot of success in last season, even though that second split was a little bit rough.
Yeah.
And then as Limitless as a whole, man, like I think like this is going to be our best year yet. Like I finally feel I was like telling the guys in one of our meetings today, like we finally have the right people in every department. Like I feel like everything across the board is clicking for 2025. Like we're ready, we're hungry, and like the sky is the limit, man. Like literally, like we're here for it. So it'll be fun to see.
All right, love to hear that. I mean, do you have any previews for us? Any small leaks you can give away? It's all right if you don't, but I have to ask. It's my job.
Unfortunately, man, I'm
Ah,
I'm under NDA for everything.
okay.
So, but just know that we're working on some really cool things, and it's really going to take the org to a new level. So we're excited about it.
All right. Well, on the Rocket League fronts, a couple more questions about that.
Sure.
You're bringing in CP Zebra to coach the boys for RLCS 2025. I want to get your thoughts on that change, and I don't know how involved you are in making those decisions, but I mean, you got to be getting vibes at least from the
Yeah.
players talking about bringing him on, right?
Yeah. So we weren't super involved in that decision.
Hmm.
We love Knox. Knox is a great person. He's a great coach. One of the things I loved about him the most is he's like super involved in content as well.
Oh yeah.
It was really cool. So we're gonna miss that portion a lot. Um, but it's been a few years with Knox's, and I didn't see the harm in bringing in a new coach and Knox has had those 2 years to really develop those guys that he wants to, and it's cool to like get a new coach in that can like bring in some new schemes and some new things that they can work on and see how they translate at the international level, man. So we're excited about it. He seems like a great guy. Haven't got to meet him like in person yet, but
Hmm.
like again, like he seems like a great person, and he's worked with Snowy in the past as
Yep.
well, with Pirates, I believe.
Yep. First
So
season.
yeah, so it's kind of cool to like reunite those two. They've already got chemistry and all of that, and now to bring in David and Sweaty as well. It'll be fun to see like what kind of things he can put together for those guys.
Well, it's going to be an exciting season, an exciting year for Limitless too. Apparently, last thing I've got for you, Sin, is just take the open floor, talk about what this year is going to be like, and what I guess you're looking forward to as a whole.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we're looking forward to making both majors this year.
Hmm.
The guys got to put their best foot down, and I think they understand the gravity of the situation, especially for the region. I think Graybeard put out a tweet the other day that there was like way more EU teams that signed up
Yeah.
for the region than SSA teams, and the boys are ready to make that defense. So I'm really excited about that. We've also got some really big things in the work for the org as a whole. We're looking at possibly increasing our budget up to like 300% of what it was last year.
Wow.
Obviously, some things need to like fall in place, and some things need to really happen for that. But we've got some really good opportunities. We're going to be looking to expand into different titles. Maybe like we're kind of looking at like some Street Fighter, like Tekken type games. Maybe even hop into like mobile esports. I don't know. Like I said, I take a lot of inspiration from what Justin does over at Elevate,
All
and they're
right.
killing it on the mobile side. So, kind of like learning about some more initiatives in that side of the esports world, and learning more about what we can do there. So, um, a lot of cool things happening behind the scenes. I wish I could share more. We will in due time. I promise. It's something to be excited about, though, for sure.
All right. I'm excited for it. 2025 is going to be a great year. BigSyn, I appreciate you joining me.
Thank you so much, man. I'm looking forward to it.